For the first time ever, we're about to go racing in Spain. Monaco, Mexico, New York, London and Berlin are all still to come this year, but first we have 2 races at the DHL Valencia E-Prix. The rain is falling, the championship leaders are at the back. We are in for surely another classic afternoon of action in the ABB FIA Formula E World Championship. Former F1 and Formula E driver Karun Chandak is alongside me, Jack Nicholls, here in Valencia, and this is the grid. At the back, it's going to be Stoffel van Dorn, the driver who qualified on pole position but was disqualified for a tyre irregularity. Oliver Turvey lines up 23rd on the grid after making a mistake during qualifying. Lucas de Grassi disappointed to be down in 21st. Not as disappointed as Sam Bird. The championship leader is 20th on the grid. Second place in the championship, Mitch Evans, is 17th on the grid. Third place man in the championship, Robin Freins, is only 15th on the grid. A comparatively good qualifying performance for the Dutchman. Then we move into the top 14 with René Rast just behind Jake Dennis, who did well for the BMW Andretti Motorsport team in his rookie season. And then Jean-Eric Verne and Alexander Sims, both podium finishes in Rome. Verne won race 1, Sims was second in race 2. They are just outside the top 10. And that top 10, on the right-hand side, as we come down towards the front row, is Nick Cassidy. He started on pole position in the last race in Rome, but spun out at the first corner on the safety car start. He will be hoping not to repeat that trick here. He starts behind Pascal Wehrlein, the only driver to have scored points in every single race so far this season. The TAG Heuer Porsche driver lines up in 9th place on the grid. Then it's Oliver Rowland. An interesting season so far for Rowland because he hasn't quite got the points that his pace has seemingly deserved. He is behind the front of the Mercedes of Nick de Vries, the highest starting Mercedes, and the driver who is 5th in the championship standings. Then it's Norman Nato, impressively out-qualifying his teammate at the Rocket Venturi team. The Frenchman will start in 6th place. Then it's the other Porsche of Andre Lotterer. He went for the win in Rome a few weeks ago, had contact and dropped out of the running. Sebastian Buemi, the wise old racer in the Swiss colours, racing for the Nissan team. Alex Lynn starts 3rd on the grid for Mahindra Racing, his best qualifying performance in a long time. And then on the front row, it's Maximilian Gunter, who for the 4th time has qualified 2nd in his Formula E career. He's never started on pole. This man has, though. Antonio Felix da Costa, the reigning champion, currently languishing down in 10th place in the standings. He is looking for a move back towards the top of the order. The car's about to pull away on the dummy grid. They'll pull forward just a couple of grid slots and then, well actually no they won't of course, because it's going to be a safety car start behind the mini electric pace setter. The clock will start ticking now as the safety car pulls away. 45 minutes plus 1 lap of racing. Obviously disappointing that we're starting behind the safety car, but the drivers have no experience of this Valencia circuit in the wet because the crawl round to the grid really is a crawl, Karun.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, they're having to save energy all the way around to the grid, but I won't lie, I'm a little bit disappointed because I think the battle on the run down to turn 1 and turn 2 would have been great to see them fighting wheel to wheel. I'm sure Da Costa and Gunter are not disappointed. This is, they know now that they're in a safe position at the front of the field. It's going to be interesting because it's actually stopped raining, Jack. I just, as I was walking into the commentary box, the rain has stopped. And we'll see as the race unfolds whether, we get to a point where it fully dries up. But obviously with the tyres they've got, they're all-weather tyres, so there's not going to be a question mark around when they need to switch to, dry weather slicks, for example. And it's just going to be a matter of, as the track dries and the pace increases, the energy consumption will increase. And therefore, that's where the strategy will start to come into play. So, it's going to be an interesting afternoon of racing for sure.
So 43 minutes plus 1 lap to go. Safety car will be coming in this lap, so it's just the 1 lap behind the safety car. This is the view from Pascal Wehrlein. No Spain, no gain, but plenty of rain should be the addition on the front of the halo there. This is the cut right at turns 9 and 10 through this little cut through, and it's going to be quite treacherous in the rain now. You can see Da Costa is starting to back the field up. Safety car coming in this lap, and so okay, they've had a lap behind the safety car now, but at fairly slow speeds, not exactly racing speeds, so I wonder how much they will have actually learned.
Well, the other thing is, when they get going, the attack mode is going to be more wet than the racing line. So something to watch out later on. Anyway, away we go, Jack.
Here comes Antonio Felix da Costa, slippery and sliding through the final corner, gets on the power and gets the race underway in Valencia. The black and gold DS Techeetah leading. Max Gunter in the white and blue BMW I Andretti is in second place. Then it is Lin in third. Fourth is Buemi. Fifth is Lotterer. Sixth is Nato. Seventh De Vries. Eighth is Oliver Rowland. Quite a spread out start in the end, and we saw that in Rome where drivers were actually struggling to catch up to the back of the pack because when the safety car came in, but Alex Lin looks to be on the attack straight away for second position. He is closer to Gunter, and the DS Techeetah of Da Costa is pulling away pretty rapidly. Lin is feeling confident, isn't he?
Yeah, he's looked good all day. He was quick in practice, quick in qualifying. He's clearly got a lot of confidence in the car underneath it. Buemi just biding his time. Interesting to see, nobody really using the wider wet line. So clearly, yes, it has rained. And we got a 10-second stop-go penalty for Lucas Di Grassi.
Yeah, had to change his gearbox. Was meant to serve a 20-place grid drop, but couldn't because he qualified so far down the order. So he has to serve that penalty. Nico Muller has a drive-through penalty as well. But look at Da Costa pulling away pretty nicely up at the front, and Buemi heading towards the gravel. Meanwhile, it's side by side further back as Nato attacks Lotterer, and Buemi's going to get hit. Lotterer at the scene of the accident once again, spins Buemi around. He was fighting with Nato. There's a crunch of carbon further back as well, and Buemi is just having to wait for everybody to rejoin, and the Swiss has been sent right to the back of the field once again. Lotterer getting involved in a crash.
I mean, he just harpooned Buemi, didn't he? You know, I think they were busy in that fight, Nato and Lotterer, and Buemi was the innocent victim on that occasion. Meanwhile, Alex Lin all over the back of the BMW there. Max Gunter, they head down towards turn one. The attack mode activation zone is open, so these drivers will be able to run wide at turn 8 and use that if they choose. Here's Lin now heading down towards turn 2. Gunter covers the inside line, so Alex tries to go. He should have grip on the outside in these conditions.
Lin to the outside, maybe a little bit of a bang of wheels there, and Gunter holds the position.
Full course yellow in 5.
Full course yellow coming.
3, 2, 1. Full course yellow, full course yellow.
Full course yellow deployed. Everybody has to slow down to 50 kilometers per hour, and Da Costa is leading the way. Gunter is second, Lin is third, De Vries is fourth, Norman Nato completes the top 5 as we've had a frantic lap of action in Valencia. So Da Costa has built up a sort of 2-second lead up at the front. We've got Gunter and Lin in second and third. Buemi can't get going. That's the reason for the full course yellow. So I wonder if he's beached in the gravel or something. Oh yeah, he looks pretty beached. That's what it is.
The 23 car is still in the same location.
I mean, there's
such
a narrow bit of gravel, really, isn't it? But unfortunately, for in the rear wheels, it just sunk in the ground. As we see Nico Muller
that's serving his drive-through penalty, which I guess under full course yellow is a nice time for it to happen.
Yeah, no, it's good to get that out of the way, wasn't it? That's a good move from them.
So here's a look at it. Buemi's in the black and red car, and then you see the two cars side by side here. Lotterer in the Porsche just tries to outbrake him.
Yeah, I mean, you know, Buemi was clearing away around the corner, and Lotterer was so focused on his battle there with the Venturi car, he just you know, left his braking way too late, went in too quickly, and then reversed into the path of the Jake Dennis BMW. Yeah. So yeah, even more chaos. And I think it was Jev, wasn't it? Was it Jean-Luc Verne got caught up a little bit in that as well?
And a full safety car now deployed. I think Nick Cassidy also had to take evasive action as well. There you can see Cassidy taking the evasive action, and there, yeah, Verne and Dennis were fighting into that corner and had to squeeze their way around and try and get through. I thought some of them were going in the gravel here, but maybe that was an intentional plan at turn 8 to go that wide.
Yeah, unfortunately for Lotterer, I can probably see a penalty coming his way, can't you, for that for that move on Buemi. I don't think either he or Porsche could argue that one, unfortunately.
Here's a look at it from inside the corner. Side by side, front to back. So we're behind the safety car in round 5 of the ABB FIA Formula E World Championship, because Sebastian Buemi is stuck in the gravel trap at the exit. Well, he's not. He's out of the car and walking back. It's been a miserable season so far for Buemi. This was one of his best qualifying performances of the season, but he's only had a 5th and a 10th in Rome. That is it. Now, Da Costa sprinted away at the start. His usable energy on the left-hand side, and Lin has actually used a bit more than those around him. So Da Costa managed to pull that gap without using too much energy, and as a result, it hasn't hurt him too much. If he'd have used energy to pull away and then the safety car came out, that would have been more frustrating.
Yeah, I think Da Costa actually, he managed to get that gap because Lin and Gunter were fighting, didn't he? You know, and so he was just able to get into his rhythm, get into his flow. It was a perfect scenario for him. He wasn't having to defend, whereas the other two were having to do battle. Look at the nose there on Andre Lotra's Porsche, and it looks like it's starting to rain again, Jack.
Yeah.
That camera angle. There's a bit of spray coming off the car in front, of course, but yeah, big damage. Well, I say big damage. I mean, the car's still in one piece and he's still driving around. It'll just be an extra bit of cooling for his feet with the air, with the air and water coming in.
There's Emil Lindsay, the TAG Heuer Porsche head of operations, the man running that Porsche squad. Rain still coming down. It's definitely getting heavier though, actually, isn't it? That's really, really raining. Oh, in fact, we've got a little window in the commentary box I didn't realise, but yeah, the rain coming down a lot harder now. In fact, Nicky's just texted me saying it's tipping it down. So, yeah, really, really wet stuff. And so that means when the safety car comes in, which will hopefully be soon, here's Da Costa's radio.
And focus on saving energy.
Focus on saving energy. Safety car in this lap, so we'll be going again pretty much instantly.
Here we go. This is a good view of, you know, you see the water droplets on the driver's visor.
This is Van Dorn.
And Van Dorn, he's still down in 21st place, so he hasn't actually been able to make up too many places in that early part of the race. And in fact, he's made up Buemi and the two that have penalties. So he's there behind the two Neo 333.
The track is clear at turn 9. Scott Elkins, the race director, happy to have the racing back underway when the safety car comes in at the end of this than it was before, and Da Costa goes then. Very, very quick stuff from Antonio Felix da Costa. He gets the race going again, and Lin was quite keen to get up to the back of Gunter, wasn't he? They're going to be very close coming out of the chicane and then down the start, finish straight. Racing back underway, 35 minutes plus 1 lap to go. Da Costa leads, Gunter second, Lin third, De Vries fourth, Nato fifth, but under pressure from Oliver Rowland in the Nissan, who's looking to the inside. Not close enough to make a move. Nato still running in that 5th place.
Yeah, Sims has had a good run. He's managed to get himself up into 7th place. I think when that incident happened with Lotra, Sims was a beneficiary, chose the right places. Roland goes down the inside of Nato, doesn't quite make the move stake. So Nato able to carry the momentum around the outside. So Da Costa's got the enviable position, Jack, of having visibility in these tricky conditions with the rain and the spray. He's got clear visibility in front of him.
Here's a look at Alex Lin, who was putting the 2nd place BMW of Gunter under pressure. Now he's coming under pressure from the Mercedes EQ of Nick De Vries behind, but he's still putting the BMW under pressure. Sims, you're right, is absolutely on a mission. He's trying to get past Oliver Rowland now. He's made up 4 places already, Alexander Sims, the result of some of the contact, admittedly, and Rast is dropping down the order. So the Audi has run into trouble somewhere. Gunter is still holding that 2nd place, but they're all starting to queue up and allow Antonio Felix da Costa to get away. We're on board with Alex Lin, running in 3rd place, trying to look ahead and behind. Well, just trying to look ahead is challenging enough at the moment, because there is the look from the silver Mercedes EQ of Nick De Vries. Down they come to the chicane again.
Yeah, I mean, Gunter's a stop in the bottle, isn't he? You know, at the moment, nearly 2 seconds the gap now to Da Costa up in front, and all these other drivers just queuing up behind Max Gunter. And we'll see as they get going, you know, does Lin have a lunge? Does he get to a point where he thinks, you know, I'm getting an under attack here from the likes of De Vries, I've got to use a bit more energy, get past and just get on with it.
Gunter running in 2nd place. There is Alex Lin in the 94 red and white Mahindra.
Okay, Nick, if we've got good pace and you want to overtake Lin and Gunter in front, you can do.
Albert Lau, the race engineer of De Vries, saying, you know, don't worry too much about the energy. If you can get past, go for it. Gunter was a bit loose coming through the exit of 2 and 3, and look at Nick De Vries.
There's something loose, Jack. There's something loose on the front left of Alex Lin's car.
And Nick De Vries has gone all the way around the outside of him. So is that a bit of contact damage for Alex Lin? But Nick De Vries has got through into 3rd place with a great move around the outside at turn 4.
I mean, it was bang on cue, wasn't it? The team told him you could go, and he did, but Lin's coming back at him as he comes down the back straight towards a turn 8. Who's going to be? Oh, that was a robust defense there from Nick De Vries. Made the move stick, and Lin had to back out of it. But look at this, Oliver Rowland on the outside.
Rowland becomes the inside for 9. He's trying to get past Norman Nato. The Nissan is through. Nato drops a wheel in the gravel. Sims is now trying to get involved in that fight too. Then it's the 2 Porsches in behind of Verline and Lotterer. Some of the drivers further back have activated their first attack mode. And there goes De Vries for 2nd. The Dutchman is carving his way up the field, ahead of Lin, ahead of Gunter, and now he's going to set his sights on the race leader, Antonio Felix da Costa. But da Costa is quite away up the road, and that's bold stuff from Sims getting involved, trying to get past Norman Nato. I think he clipped the back of Oliver Rowland as he did it, but Rowland and Sims making their way up the field.
And Gunter ran into the back of De Vries as well at the chicane. Got away with it, De Vries. He's weaving around a little bit just to check his car, but Gunter ran into the back of him in the middle of that chicane, and look at Sims attacking Rowland again. So here goes Lin round the outside. It's all kicking off.
Up into turn 2 then. Can Lin find the grip on the outside of that corner, or is Gunter going to show him the door and show him the gravel? He gives him space. They're still wheel to wheel. Brilliant racing, and Lin is through. Absolutely fantastic stuff. Great respect between the 2 of them as well. And Lin is now up into 3rd position. Rowland is still there in 5th, ahead of Alexander Sims in 6th.
Okay, good job. Now we catch to De Vries. Good job. Now we catch to De Vries.
So that's Lin being told, let's go, let's catch Nick De Vries in 2nd position. There's a yellow flag out there at turn 4. Here's a replay of Lucas de Grassi. Oh, he's in the gravel. No, it's René Rast. This is what went wrong with Rast then a few laps ago. He and Nico Muller coming together at turn 8. So Rast and Muller have dropped back to 22nd and 23rd places respectively. Gunter has activated his first attack mode then, and steaming into the corner there. I think that was Mortara and Dennis going side by side for 13th position, but Gunter is the first of the front runners to activate attack mode, and he's come out in front of Oliver Rowland still. Da Costa's leading miles away.
I think that's quite a smart move from Gunter, because he needs to stop the slide, doesn't he? He's clearly not as quick as he would like, not as quick as he was in the dry conditions, and he needs to do something to stop the slide that he's on. And yeah, getting attack mode now when he didn't lose track position was quite a smart move.
Antonio Felix da Costa leading the way. 2nd place there is Nick De Vries in the 17 Mercedes. Then it's Alex Lin, then it's Max Gunter, then it's Oliver Rowland, then it's Alexander Sims, then it is Pascal Verline, Norman Nato, and Lotterer and Cassidy, the rest of the top 10. So Gunter in his first attack mode, he will get for 4 minutes an extra 35 kilowatts of power. It's about an extra 17% of power for 4 minutes, and Lotterer has been given a drive-through penalty for causing a collision, which is about right, really.
Yeah, it's a slam dunk, really, unfortunately for Andre. You know, yeah, just, you know, Sebastian Bouet made a completely innocent victim there. Gunter's really struggling with grip out here in these conditions. I think he's got, you know, the chassis balance looked very good in the dry in both practice and qualifying, but he doesn't quite have the grip underneath him.
We expect strategy 20 on attack, 2-0.
Copy strategy 20.
Da Costa takes his first attack mode as well. The race leader, as does Nick De Vries, as does Alex Lin, as does Oliver Rowland, as does Alexander Sims. So they've all gone through it then. The top 6 now have activated their first attack mode. Gunter did it a lap earlier than everybody else. So, but even when he activated it, when Lin activated his, he didn't manage to close in and get past.
Watch the Nissan there. Rowland having a massive wobble. He had a big wobble coming around the kink of 11. Then he had another one into 12. He definitely had a pretty hairy ride through there. He seems to have got away with it. He's still there behind Gunter, but yeah, not the most comfortable ride through turns 11 and 12.
Da Costa leading 3.4 seconds ahead of Nick De Vries in 2nd place. This is a This is a fairly good drive from Antonio Felix da Costa, a fairly comfortable drive from Antonio Felix da Costa at the moment. Still a long way to go, 28 minutes plus 1 lap, but it probably doesn't feel comfortable to him.
A fairly good drive. He's
I know. As soon as I was saying that, I was like, you're using the wrong terminology here.
I mean,
it's a brilliant drive.
It's a brilliant drive. He's, you know, he's built up a rhythm. He's looking comfortable. He's, you know, he's in the flow, isn't he? He's got visibility, of course. But then De Vries on that last lap actually has pegged the gap back a little bit, 43.3 for De Vries. So I think De Vries actually maybe lost a little bit less time going out wide into the attack mode. Da Costa looked a bit more cautious. Understandably, he is the leader of the race. So De Vries now has pulled back about half a second. And in fact, Jack, on this lap, just in the first sector, De Vries has reduced the gap by another 8/10. So that Mercedes EQ, man, is starting to just wind it in a bit.
Visibility is really tough, isn't it? There's Jean-Eric Vergne, who we were just on board with in the nose of the car. And here's a replay of the two Neos going side by side, charging down into the chicane. Bird got a hit there, but Blomqvist got ahead of Turvey. Bird is still down in...
Spin.
Oh, and then round goes Blomqvist. So he gets the move done on Turvey and then loops it on the exit.
Yeah, I think that there's a bit of concrete there, isn't it? Where the chicane is, you can see it here from the shot. Look, they go across concrete, onto tarmac, and then back onto concrete. And I think that change of surface just caught him out. So, yeah, unfortunately for Blomqvist. But he managed to keep going. It was a good little pirouette, and A+ for effort. Just look at the little box in our corner there. That's the driver's eye view of the visibility that the drivers have got with these conditions. So it is tricky out there, absolutely.
Here's the battle for, well, Gunter is now in 5th position then, ahead of Alexander Sims. So has Gunter lost ground to Roland here?
Yeah.
So Gunter has dropped behind Oliver Roland at some point. While Roland was in attack mode, there's a bit of damage, I think, on the front of Gunter's car, and Sims is trying to get through. He's got the cutback underneath him into 5, and Alexander Sims in the Mahindra makes his way up into 5th position. Lynn and Sims now up into 3rd and 5th. A really strong performances from Mahindra. Oh, it's the damage on the front of Sims's car, actually, the front left. But here's what happened with Roland then. He's going right round the outside at 8 for the inside at 9. Lovely stuff.
Great move. Really opportunistic. Gunter's got no pace in these conditions. He's, you know, he's really struggling, and he's dropping. I mean, for a guy who started on the front row, he's now down to 6th. And we see, Jake Dennis slightly alarmed by the pace of Stoffel Van Dorn came flying into the attack zone. He's got plenty of confidence in these conditions, up to 14th now. So he's slowly but steadily making progress, Van Dorn, isn't he?
Yeah, he certainly is. Well, considering he started at the back of the grid and Sam Bird started in 20th, so only 4 places between them, but Van Dorn is now 2 places clear of Bird, so a 6th position switch between the two of them. De Vries and Da Costa, Lynn, Roland and Sims are now out of their first attack mode, so they're now back into 200 kilowatts of power, the standard race mode. Nato in 7th place is one of the drivers that has 2 remaining in that, or the furthest forward driver to have 2 remaining, and this is with Stoffel Van Dorn. See him pulling out of the spray to try and get a bit of visibility, and he is coming up behind Mitch Evans in the Jaguar, who's made decent progress. Someone's in the gravel at turn 2. Is that going to be one of the front runners skidding into the gravel? It's Gunter. No grip confirmed, and now he's beached in the gravel. Max Gunter, who was running in, well, he just dropped down to 6th position, but now the race is over for Gunter. He had a good few races in Rome, 2 points scored for finishes, because in the previous 9 races to Rome, he'd crashed out of 7 of them. And unfortunately, this is another one that has been crashed out in. There you can see progress on the left-hand side. Mortara's made up 8 places. Van Dorn's made up 11 positions. De Vries has made up 5. Mercedes EQ are flying up the order, and there's another one for Stoffel Van Dorn, just as the safety car is deployed. Sims activates his attack mode just as the safety car is deployed. Now, I wonder if that was a tactical move from the Mahindra team to think that might be a safety car, so let's activate it now, but then you wouldn't get the opportunity to use it. But Antonio Felix is the driver leading the way. Da Costa, Cassidy, Van Dorn, Bird and De Grassi are the 5 drivers that will have fan boost, so the extra power that they can use later on in the race, up to 250 kilowatts with 23 minutes plus 1 lap to go. Da Costa is leading. His lead was up to 4.3 seconds, but now the safety car will eradicate that lead. Second will be Nick de Vries in the silver Mercedes. Third will be Alex Lynn in the red and white Mahindra. Then it's Oliver Rowland. Then it is the other red and white Mahindra of Alexander Sims. That's the top 5. Behind them it's Nato, Verline, Mortara, Cassidy. Freitz has got up into the top 10 now in the Envision Virgin racing car. But again, hopefully this should be a relatively short safety car period and they can just pick Gunter's car out the gravel.
Yeah, he's gone a long way down, hasn't he?
Yeah.
I mean, he's made it all the way to the barrier, which is quite some way, actually, to be honest, down at turn 2. So he must have, I don't know, he must have had a lock-up and then tried to bail out of it, but they've had to get the digger to come, as you say, and pick him out of the gravel. So not sure this will just be a one-lap job. Maybe it will, you know, depending on how slowly that safety car decides to go. But this is good news for Nick de Vries, though, because he had actually pegged the gap to Da Costa. And, you know, at this stage, here we go, we're going to get a replay of it. So this is good. He's up at turn 1 here. So he turns in and it's going okay. He's obviously got the gap of the car in front. But this is where we're going to see what happened to him. And as he got on the brake, he lost the back end as he got on the brake. I wonder if he touched the curb or the white line on the right-hand side. As soon as he got on the brake, the rear of the car started to slide. You saw his hands moving to try and correct it. But it was too late. Before he knew, he was on the gravel, and there he's tried to engage reverse. You can see him press the button. He's trying to engage reverse gear, but there's no luck there. So they have done a very quick job. Well done to the Spanish marshals here in Valencia for clearing that car. They're very quick. You know, it might actually go green at the end of this lap. That was very quick.
Safety car out for a crash for Max Gunter. Gunter's car is being towed away. And we should be getting racing fairly soon. Maybe not at the end of this lap. Safety car lights are due to go off just before turn 8. So
they're off.
Oh, they're off, you're right. Safety car in this lap. Good spot. So racing about to get going again. The field is bunched back up. What can the Mahindras do? Sims is absolutely flying. He absolutely flew in qualifying in Rome. Da Costa's gone really early. Da Costa has gone really early on this safety car restart compared to the last 2 where he's waited to around about here. He's gone now and everybody now trying to keep up and Nick de Vries is right behind him. Green flag racing again and Da Costa slithers his way through that final chicane. He's got the lead against Nick de Vries as they come over the line. Rowland is defending hard from Alexander Sims, the 2 fluorescent helmeted drivers, and Sims goes to the outside. And is he going to get through here into 4th place? Rowland holds it in. Sims with a twitch. Gets on the curb. Keeps the car pointing the right way, but Rowland's still there. Still gets the job done. Nice work from Alexander Sims.
Yeah, he had the benefit of attack mode there, so he was able to out-drag Rowland down the straight and get the move down. It was a great move around the outside. His bodywork's flapping about though, Jack, isn't it? Over the front left wheel. You could see that bodywork, so there's clearly been some contact earlier that's created that issue. But look at de Vries now. Da Costa's had a nice easy ride till now, but all of a sudden de Vries is there.
Okay, Nick, so just stay behind Da Costa, let him pull us along.
So that's the message. Let's just stay behind Da Costa, let him pull us along. Sit in that slipstream when you're going down the long straights. You've got a bit more energy than him already, Nick de Vries has. There's no huge rush to get past. Is the same true at the Mahindra team, because here they go, wheel to wheel. Sims is trying to get through. There go Nato and Verline through attack mode. Someone was dropping down the order there. Meanwhile, you've got Robin Freitz activating his attack mode and getting ahead of Jake Dennis. So Dennis drops down to 10th position, make that 11th because Mitch Evans comes through in the Jaguar. But this is going to be an interesting fight with the 2 Mahindras, because I think from what we just saw, Sims has a lot more energy than Lynn. And look how close de Vries is. He wants to be as close as possible onto the straight to take advantage of that slipstream.
I think Sims is the driver with off those 2 Mahindra drivers who've got more confidence in their car in these conditions. He's looked really comfortable. He's come up the order. Don't forget, this is the guy, I think he started 11th on the grid, Jack, if I'm not mistaken, Alex Sims. So he's now, you know, he's gone up 7 places. He's right behind his teammate. He's got a lot of confidence here. But what they've got now behind them, Rowland, okay, he hasn't got attack mode, but the 4 cars behind have. And those guys are going to start coming back into play here.
18 minutes plus 1 lap to go. already halfway through the race. De Vries is taking different lines, isn't he?
Yeah, he's sussing out where the grip level is. And what often happens in these wet conditions, you need to go away from the normal dry racing line. Sometimes you go on the outer part of the track as opposed to the traditional inner line like they're doing here. Sometimes going to the outside of the track where oil and, you know, stuff hasn't been dumped by other categories that race here the rest of the time. You know, it means that you get a bit more grip in the wet, and that's why drivers sometimes use the outside line. De Vries there trying it again. That wasn't him trying to get to the attack mode, although Lynn has gone for it on this occasion.
Mortara has had an issue out there. Lost 10 seconds on the last lap and dropped all the way down to 18th position. That's a shame because Edo had made a lot of places. Da Costa leads, De Vries in second. Lynn taking attack mode has freed up Sims a little bit to try and get some, to try and close in on the cars in front. 17 minutes left on the clock. Let's get news from Nissan and Nikki.
Thanks, Jack. Yeah, just had a quick chat with Sebastian Buemi. Understandably, he's pretty devastated with being taken out of the race second time in this season. But what was quite nice to see was that when the team realised he was out, Buemi's race engineer quickly hopped across to the other side of the desk to help Roland's team, and it was kind of all hands on deck. So I think it's a real team effort in the Nissan Edams garage to get some points for Oliver Roland.
Yeah, well, he's running in 5th place at the moment, right up behind the two Mahindras of Lynn and Roland as they come sweeping through the right-hander of turn 4. 16 minutes plus 1 lap to go. Da Costa leading, De Vries second. Only 1.8 seconds separating those top 3. And then you've got Lynn right on the back of Sims. Well, he's not actually right on the back. I said it, but I don't actually mean it when you look at them. You wonder, though, with 3 minutes of attack mode remaining, whether they'll do a sort of a team game and swap around on the long straights, but at the moment it's looking like they're happy to hold position. This meanwhile is Verline trying to get past Nato. Verline running in 7th spot.
I tell you, the two Envision cars have got some good pace. Look at them, they've come up the order now 8th and 9th for Prins and Cassidy. And the other thing I noticed, by the way, Jack, and Evans I think has just taken his first attack mode, but he's left it quite late. Until now, he hadn't done any of his, or either of his attack modes, I should say. So, yeah, some interesting strategies going on. We've got a yellow out somewhere.
Turn 8, so, and I think it's set on another safety car.
Okay, Nick, we're good on energy. We can push.
We're good on energy, we can push, is the message to Nick De Vries, but the safety car is deployed at Sete Camera. Sete Camera in the gravel, and so I think that's turn 9, isn't it? Has he had a collision now as well out there, Sergio Sete Camera? He's in the same place as Sebastian Buemi. Da Costa, though, is still leading the way.
Something's happened with Van Dorn.
Yeah, Stoffel Van Dorn has dropped down to 19th place. He was making good progress, was ahead of Bird. Bird suddenly is up into 11th place. Evans pits. So Mitch Evans comes into the pits. So maybe Evans has activated his first attack mode, and as they're then coming down into 9, has had a collision with Sete Camera. Obviously, we'll wait until we see it, but it's always fun to guess.
Yeah, I think Sete Camera was running close to Van Dorn as well. So I don't know if something's happened between those two guys. I'm sure we'll find out in a minute. Sete Camera out of the car. Evans is pulling into the garage as well. So, yeah, bad news for both of those drivers. So, Sete Camera, you can see the despondency there as Mitch Evans also now getting out of his Jaguar. This is turning into a bit of a miserable day for him and the team, although Bird now on the fringes of some points up to 11th place.
As far as the championship is concerned, this is going to be great news for Nick De Vries. He will gain 18 points as it stands, taking him up to 50 points, which would be 7 clear of Sam Bird at the top of the standings. Of course, Evans is second in the standings, and he's not going to be scoring any points today. Oh, so Van Dorn.
So Van Dorn had gone off, then he rejoins alongside
so that's
Sete
Muller.
Camera.
No, that's Muller. So
Muller.
Sete Camera is having his own issue some other time. So that was where it went wrong for Van Dorn. There he is, going through the gravel in a fairly uncharacteristic error, I have to say. Rejoins the track, side by side with the Dragon of Muller and Andre Lotterer. Oh, Sete Camera's already there. So Sete Camara's there from earlier on, and it is Evans.
Evans.
So Evans into the side of Sergio Sete Camara, spun him around, and then the other Dragon was getting involved in the fight with Van Dorn. There's a look at Sete Camara getting sent spinning into the gravel trap. That's why we have our 4th safety car of the race. Hopefully, again, it will be a fairly short one. We're coming up to the chicane now, so we will have to have one more lap, but they're getting good practice at picking cars out of gravel here in Valencia. Every time that there's a safety car,
Only one in the top 6 to have used one attack mode. One.
so Da Costa being told you're the only one in the top 6 to have only used one attack mode, which isn't quite true because Nato hasn't either, but yeah, Da Costa in a reasonable position. The amount of energy allowed gets reduced whenever the safety car is out, so they're still going to have to look after their energy. With Da Costa leading the way, the black and gold DS Techeetah, then it's De Vries, then it's the 2 Mahindras of Sims and Lynn, and then it's Oliver Rowland running in 5th position. Let's hear from Mitch Evans, 2nd place man in the championship, out of the race, but he's now with Nicky Shields.
Mitch Evans, it's been a real tough day for you. Talk us through what happened.
Yeah, we're making good progress. I think we're just outside the top 10 or inside the top 10. I went to do my attack, and yeah, Sete Camara was obviously he done his attack. I was rejoining. I was expecting him to leave me a bit of space because it was just how the rejoin is into turn 9, but he just literally went for the apex, and I mean I couldn't really move or slow down anymore. I was already sort of there, and it was just a bit of an awkward one. But I would have expected him, he knew I was there, so I would have expected him to at least leave me like a car woods, and we could have got both through there and continue the race. But anyway, now I'm here.
And conditions generally for driving at the moment in the wet, this is pretty unusual for Formula E.
Unusual, yeah, it's really, really bad. Like the visibility on the straights is horrendous. You can hardly see the cars in front. Yeah, it was exciting, unusual for me, but yeah, it was looking good for us. We're actually making good progress, but anyway, it hasn't been our day.
Fingers crossed for tomorrow. Thanks very much, Mitch Evans.
So, well, there were no safety cars coming in this lap. The first ever Formula E wet race was in season 5, and now season 7, it's just rain all the time. Da Costa's gone again. So Da Costa again goes pretty early, coming into turn 12. The 2 Mahindras are looking a bit loose. De Vries was looking a bit loose, coming into the final corner as the grip is changing again. Big slide from Sims in 3rd position, but there is the race leader, Antonio Felix da Costa, weaving his way through the chicane, the reigning champion. And this would actually put, I apologise, I think would put him into the lead of the, no, he'd be up into 2nd in the championship behind Nick De Vries as it stands now. This is the view on board with Alex Lynn. Coming down into turn 1, Da Costa leading, De Vries 2nd. Sims is really looking racy now on the back of Nick De Vries. 10 minutes plus a lap to go. This race is flying by.
Yeah, I mean, it's all action, isn't it? Because with the conditions, here's the energy at the moment. De Vries is the man. Look at him. He's got 3% more or 2% more than Sims, 1% more than Da Costa. So he's done a great job of managing his energy in the right way, and he can certainly go on the attack in the later stages. Sims and Lynn battling for team pride. Lynn having a little bit of a wobble there at turn 4. Now Da Costa's got to use his next attack mode, and this is where it could work out well for De Vries. If he just stays close to Da Costa, if he can get within a half a second of Da Costa.
Da Costa's using his fan boost right now.
That's a smart move, because he can get the gap to then go on to attack mode. So let's see if he actually uses it on this occasion. Yes, he does. De Vries' opportunity to get track position, but Da Costa, that was a very smart bit of driving from the reigning champion, using the fan boost to make the gap and then make sure he came out safely ahead of Nick De Vries, and now he's got more power with that attack mode. Very, very smart driving.
Okay, Nick, we have 1% more energy than Da Costa. 1% more than Da Costa.
So now De Vries is being told, okay, we didn't get the track position, but we've got more energy to use in the remaining 9 minutes plus 1 lap. I'm a bit worried about the Mahindras and Nato. They seem to have quite a lot less energy than those around. It's so difficult in these conditions to know how long the race is going to be, how many laps you're going to need to do, and therefore how much energy you're going to need to get to the end of the race. We're riding with Da Costa now, looking back at De Vries behind, and he needs to pull away a bit if he can. Now he's in this attack mode. Sims is still in this fight. Oh, and there's a late move from Nato. Nato passed Verline into 2, or at least trying to pass Verline. The Porsche keeps it in around the outside. A little bit of a wheel bang. Robin Freins is trying to take advantage in the Envision Virgin car. He's in the purple machine behind these two who are still side by side. Nato drops a wheel in the gravel and still pulls it off. Around the outside, in attack mode, big slide from Verline. Keeps it together, but that allows Freins through, and Cassidy up the inside as well. Both Envision Virgin cars swooping in to take advantage of Pascal Verline, who's skidding into the gravel and dropping down the order.
Oh, that was a terrible few corners. Oh, Nato went wide though. Nato went wide.
Yeah, what was he doing out there?
So, after doing all the hard work, the two beneficiaries are the Envision car and Roland. Roland's now got ahead of Sims, Jack.
So
Down.
Roland up into, that's ahead of Lynn for 4th position. Sims is still in 3rd place, then it's Roland in 4th, Lynn in 5th. As you say, the two Envision cars, Freins and Cassidy, up to 6th and 7th positions. Robin Freins started this race in 15th on the grid. He's now inside the top 6 and looking to gain a reasonable amount of points in this race. 7 minutes plus a lap to go. Plenty still to happen, I imagine.
Yeah, I think those two Envision cars, along with the two Mahindra cars, have got the wet setup working well. But Oliver Rowland did that move around the outside of turn 8 again that we've seen him do before. He's really mastered that, finding the grip around the outside to make sure he's in the right position for the inside of turn 9. Very, very good, intelligent driving. And look,
Freins has got Lynn.
Freins is ahead, yep.
Freins has got Lynn in attack mode, so he's up into 5th place now, the Envision Virgin Racing driver, the driver who's 3rd in the championship. He, since he joined the Envision Virgin team, he has only finished inside the top 5 or not scored any points.
Nick, we're
looks the same today.
quite a lot, so let's not completely lose touch with Antonio.
Alex Lynn sliding backwards. Nick Cassidy is the latest driver to get through, and Lynn is back down to 7th place. Nick De Vries was just, and Lotter is in the gravel. Lotter is the next driver beached, and that is turn 1. I wonder if there's another car to the right there, because that looks like there's some tyre tracks. And is there a car? Don't know. Yellow flag out. Cassidy still ahead of Lynn. Da Costa leading. De Vries, on that radio message we heard a moment ago, was told you are under-consuming, so you are...
Get on with it and push.
Yeah, exactly.
Basically.
Don't try and save too much energy, because you don't need to. Look, he's got 2% more than Da Costa now. Safety car deployed. Another safety car. I don't honestly know the record of safety cars, but we are... we must be there.
5 seems pretty high.
Yeah, exactly. So...
Yeah, wow. I mean, yeah, you know, that little Mini is getting a proper workout today, that's for sure. It's yeah, 5 safety cars in a space of what, 42 minutes or something that we've had. It's quite a lot already.
Yeah, Bruno Carrera has led a lot of laps of this one. So
consuming a lot.
it's Mortara.
Yeah, we're looking.
So Lotter now, Mortara is the next driver to be assaulted by Lotter. It's difficult to tell from, well, this will tell us actually. Mortara's got attack mode.
Yeah, Lotter just too quick there, too quick. I mean, to be fair to Mortara, he did give him space, I think.
Yeah.
You know, there was enough space on the inside for him to go. But yeah. It's not been a good day for Andre Lotter, is it? And his sort of season of woe seems to continue.
So we're behind the safety car. Robin Freins has made up 10 places. So, behind the safety car again, Antonio Felix da Costa leading the way, De Vries is 2nd, Sims is 3rd, Roland 4th, Freins now in 5th position, Bird's up into 8th, Turby's made up 12 places as well.
I tell you what, you wouldn't put money against one of the Envision cars getting a podium at this rate, would you?
Yeah.
I mean, they've managed to almost tag team their way. They basically tag team Verline, didn't they? They went on either side of him. He had nowhere to go and then ended up in the gravel. And they've worked really well together to get themselves up into 5th and 6th. Bird now, as you said, in 8th place. But what's De Vries going to do? You know, he's got more energy than Da Costa. How attacking is he going to be on this restart?
And how, I think it's going to be fairly flat out by the time we go racing again, I would have thought. Hopefully the safety car will be coming in soon. but I think will be fairly flat out when it does come back in. Nato is really short on energy. That's 17%, but he might get away with it, or he's going to be stretched up to the line like he was last time out in Rome. Pascal Wehrlein in the Porsche has pitted due to a safety issue with the brakes. So that's why Wehrlein's out of the race. We saw him skidding through the gravel up at the top of the hill. I wonder if... Nah, it's a bit rude to say. I wonder if Lotte has got the same problem.
I don't know what's going on with Nato and Ventura. They've got to look into this, haven't they? Because they've got the same hardware as Mercedes, and the two Mercedes drivers have the most energy left, apart from Muller. But yet Nato's got significantly less. There's something they're not quite getting right with their energy management, considering they've got the same car.
Yeah. 2.5 minutes plus 1 lap to go. That is the race leader in the black and gold DS Techeetah, Antonio Felix da Costa. We're behind the safety car. Hopefully this will be the last lap behind the safety car, because da Costa is ahead of De Vries, who's ahead of Sims, who's ahead of Roland, who's ahead of Robin Freitz. The two purple Envision Virgin racing cars there, 5th and 6th, having qualified a long way down the order. Sam Bird is up into 8th position. Norman Nato is 9th. Jake Dennis currently in 10th position, looking to score his first points of his Formula E career. If he holds on to 10th place, that would be 1 point for him. But we've got 2 minutes plus a lap to go. The lap times they're doing, just trying to see what sort of lap times they're doing, are 1 minute 40-ish. And Van Dorn is given a 5-second time penalty for causing a collision. Is that the one with the Dragon, where he sort of... okay, interesting. Didn't feel like particularly a biggie, but there we go. That's going to not help Van Dorn down in 14th. Right, safety car in this lap. A lap at the moment, or the fastest lap of the race, let's say, is 1 minute 40. So it's going to be a 2-lap sprint to the finish of this race, I think. I know, it will be a 2-lap sprint finish now. They'll be going flat out. And De Vries, look at him, in that silver Mercedes EQ, ready to go when da Costa goes. When is that going to be? He's been going through turn 12 the last couple of corners. We're only at,
only at 8
here, yeah, so we've got plenty of time.
But what's da Costa going to do here? Is he going to go even slower and go even earlier?
Or can he go... No, he can't go slow enough to make it one more lap, can he? If he can get to across the line with it ticking down to 0, then there'll just be one more lap in the race. If he can crawl around, no, he goes.
He's gone.
There he goes, and it's a really good restart from Sims. Sims right on the back of Nick De Vries as they come down, and he's on the outside of De Vries.
But he can't pass to the line, though.
No, and he's attacked him. Very, very strange, and Roland is now having to back off because he knows he can't attack until the line either. Racing gets back underway. Da Costa leading. He did a good restart. De Vries is with him as they come out across the line. 2 laps to go in the first ever DHL Valencia E-Prix. Da Costa leading, De Vries second, Sims third, Roland fourth. De Vries has a lot more energy, you know, and actually it's going to be tight to get 2 laps out of 4%. This is going to be a really, really interesting final couple of laps. Jake Dennis in the background trying to get ahead of Nato, but I mean, usually, and Nato's done, look. Nato's on 0% energy. For the second race in a row, Venturi and Nato have not got the energy management right at all. De Vries,
he's got to be patient. On the final lap, he can attack. Actually, well, he doesn't need to be patient. He should attack. He should absolutely be attacking him now.
Am I being dramatic here? Is De Vries going to be the only driver to finish this race?
Well, Dennis isn't looking good, is he? 1% there.
Nick, just follow the target. Follow the target.
De Vries being told to follow the target. This isn't the final lap.
No, there's one more lap.
We hit 0. We got one more lap at the end of this, and Da Costa's on 2%. And Bird and Lynn and Evans, they're all on 1%. De Vries is going to be the only driver to finish this E-Prix.
Muller's got 5%.
Van Dorn might, down in 15th position. This is an absolutely remarkable end.
Lynn is in the red.
Lynn's in the red, Bird's in the red, Dennis in the red, Turvey in the red. De Vries is going to come out of the final corner. Da Costa's going to start the final lap with 1% energy. Here they come, out of the final corner and across the line, and the checker flag's not there. There's another lap. None of them have energy. This is an absolute catastrophe. De Vries is going to be the only driver
Yeah.
Maybe Cassidy?
What's going on? Look, they're all weaving around because
All of the field, apart from Mercedes, have miscalculated the length of the race. Nick de Vries on the final lap.
Your targets. Do not worry about rolling behind. Do not worry about rolling behind.
What a remarkable end to
Follow
this
your
race.
targets. No need to defend.
Nico Muller's going to finish second.
yeah, they're telling de Vries that because they know Roland's out of energy, so they know that these guys, they're not going to be classified. So de Vries needs to just manage his 2% and finish the race basically.
So Muller in 5th, Cassidy in 6th and Van Dorn in 7th might be able to get to the end of this race. Nico Muller might get a podium. Here he comes now, up towards the left-hander. Now this is such a... So the energy is recalculated behind the safety car. Was the recalculation too
Aggressive?
short? Did it give them no chance?
I don't know. Obviously we sitting here don't have the numbers that the FIA do. They do an adjustment based on the time spent behind the safety car, then they do a recalculated adjustment.
And the Neos have stopped. Turvey and Blomqvist have ground to a halt. The Neos are grinding to a halt. This is an unbelievable end to the Valencia E-Prix. Nick de Vries is coming down through the final couple of corners now. He's going to come out across the line and take the win. There's no doubt about that.
Okay, take a little bit of margin into the final corner. We don't want to get the ramp down on the main straight.
Here comes Nick de Vries. Out across the line, the checkered flag falls. De Vries wins. But Nick de Vries wins for Mercedes EQ. Who else is going to finish with enough energy?
Clear?
Maybe Muller and Van Dorn.
Mega job. That's how you win an FE race. Right there.
Here comes Muller to the
Scenario 4
line.
In that scenario 4.
And but here's the thing. So Roland and Sims finished 2nd and 3rd. This is going to have.
This is going to be.
This is going to be. I think what Roland and Nissan have done
will be the first of the ones disqualified.
Yeah. Or let's get to the end and argue, because the arguments will come here from the teams that will say, behind that safety car, you reduced the energy so much that we could not get to the end of the race. Because that's basically what's happened, right?
But how would you argue that? Because different people have backed off in different ways, right? Like someone like Lynn or the Neo cars, they completely backed out of it. Whereas people like Roland pushed on thinking we'll argue the toss later.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, in the end, as far as I could see, Cassidy and Rast kept going, I think.
Yeah.
And obviously the two Mercedes EQs and Muller were the only ones I could see, and I could be completely wrong here, but they're the only ones I could see who got to the end with something in the tank.
Wow.
I would not want to be in the steward's room now.
Absolutely
trying
not.
to work out what the finishing order for this race is.
Well, let's have a word with Nick de Vries, shall we? The race winner. He's making his way back to the pits, and Nick, it's Jack. You're live on TV. Congratulations! What a crazy end to the race that was.
Oh, thank you. I'm so happy. Honestly, happier than my first win in Riyadh. Oh, after Rome and the bit of a shitty weekend, to come back like this is a real pleasure. Thank you to the team. They honestly did a stellar job.
Congratulations. Well done, Nick. Right then. Are you ready for this? We'll show you some results, shall we? Have a guess if you're playing along at home, but it is Nick de Vries who takes the win. Nico Muller, 2nd for the Dragon Penske Autosport team. Stoffel Van Dorn, 3rd. Nick Cassidy in 4th position for the Envision Virgin Racing team. René Rast in 5th. Freit still finished in 6th position. So they got to the end in Vision Virgin despite being in that same problem. Same with Antonio Felix da Costa. Lynn, Bird got points. De Grassi completing the top 10. Only 12 finishers. All of those cars not classified at the end of the race.
The Mercedes can be delighted, aren't they?
Right, we're going to have a podium ceremony then. Nico Muller on the left-hand side. In the middle, Nick de Vries. On the right-hand side, Stoffel Van Dorn. Albert Lau is Nick de Vries' race engineer on the middle there. He's going to be going up to represent the Mercedes EQ team. And there he goes. Won with Nick de Vries at the start of the season. Took a win with Edo Mortara actually at Albert Lau's home race in Hong Kong a few years ago in season 5. when he was with the Venturi team. Stoffel Van Dorn in third place. What a day.
You know what? I'm happy for him because I felt like he deserved something from this weekend. He drove so well in qualifying, and okay, he made that mistake in the race, I get it, but you know, I think Stoff deserved a bit of luck really after the Rome issue and qualifying issue.
Nico Müller up into second position, didn't score any points all of last season for the Dragon team, and now here he is up on second place in the podium. But Nick de Vries is buzzing up onto the top step, and it's a superb performance from Nick de Vries on the top step of the podium. And now the national anthem. The Dutch national anthem for Nick de Vries, the German national anthem for Mercedes EQ. Another win for Mercedes. So the top three on the podium, Nick de Vries taking the win.
Head of motorsports at DHL, celebrating with Albert Lau, Nick de Vries, race engineer, team representative.
So there is the congratulations for Albert Lau. Manuela Gianni, the head of motorsports at DHL, congratulating Albert Lau on another team win for the Mercedes squad.
Manuel Avigno, President Real Federación Española de Automobilismo, so congratulating third place
and a thumbs up to Stoffel Van Dorn from Jose Morel Rosa.
Stoffel, please lift your trophy.
What a day for Van Dorn. I can't get over Van Dorn's day.
Daniela Luzanin, head of ABB Formula E Partnership, celebrating with...
And there's the head of ABB Formula E Partnerships, celebrating with Nico Müller in second place.
Your trophy.
What does he feel? Nico Müller.
Jose Morel Rose, Mayor of Cheste, to congratulate our winner, Nick
And the winner, Nick de Vries, on the top step of the podium. His second win in Formula E. And those 25 points launch him up to the top of the championship. We'll bring you the full championship standings in a couple of minutes' time. But as the drivers celebrate on the podium, there's going to be a lot of angry drivers, a lot of angry teams.
And now it's time for your moment.
And now the moment for Nick de Vries. A superb performance from de Vries. Mercedes have had an up and down day. De Vries has had a solid day. Van Dorn's had a roller coaster of a day. Everybody else, basically, if they're not in those 3 people there, the other 21 drivers have had a disaster today. Not them specifically, but the way the race has panned out. But Nick De Vries is ready to celebrate. We do it all again tomorrow. They'll try and get to the end of the race tomorrow. The goal point, he's going to get hit. And look at Nick De Vries.
But look at this, Oliver Roland on the outside.
And there goes De Vries for second. They're still wheel to wheel. Brilliant racing.
Oh, he lost the back end.
And the checkered flag falls. De Vries wins.